A grief community is building in Hamilton with spaces and events for people who are mourning the death of someone special. The founder of the group, Our Loss, Annette Horton, joins us now with more. And you're a certified death doula and a death educator.
Yes.
This all came about after the death of your dad because you didn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I lost my dad when I was 28, and after he died, I just didn't really know where my community was, who to talk to. Therapists weren't really my jam at the time, and I felt really isolated and alone.
Mm-hmm. And grief is something so invisible, right?
That's right.
So if you're going out to, if you're coming back to work, if you're going out in a group, if you're grocery shopping, something can hit you,
Yes.
and then people are kind of like, what is wrong with her?
Yeah, exactly.
Or him.
Yeah, anyone, right? Anybody. And you'd be surprised at how many people are actually living with grief. Everybody is going to lose someone eventually, whether it's now or later. So the purpose of Our Loss is to kind of bring grief into everyday spaces, outside of therapist's office, outside of hospices, doctor's offices, which is all very valuable, but we want to bring it into our community and understand how to support each other and understand our own grief a little bit better.
So you've been organizing along with other groups. You've been organizing all these events, and there's one Friday night at the great coffee shop Pinch,
Yes.
which is right by the Playhouse Theatre in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And it's called a grief hang. So
Yeah.
people just come in and share stories, and it's not necessary. It's whatever it happens to be, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. The idea is that it's not a facilitated grief group. It's not structured. It's really just a spot, and a kind of a funky spot for people to come and just meet each other. And it's focused on young adults, so people who are 21 to 45, people who kind of fall in between the cracks of support typically. So it's just bringing people together, getting to know each other, talking about our people or our animals or whoever that we're missing that are either dead or maybe even they're sick.
Right. And it's just kind of sharing stories about, like, how are you doing it? What do you do when this happens?
Yes, exactly. And I think that's one of the most important parts about grief is learning from each other. And when we feel less isolated, we can come together and support each other better as a community.
Yeah, and it helps you heal better.
It really does.
Yeah.
It's helped me as even someone who's kind of behind the scenes. It's really helped me to find my community too.
Right. So if somebody is just going through this now, and I love that it's a specific age group, because as you say, for older adults, there tend to be groups.
Yeah.
And then for children, there also tend to be
Exactly
grief
right.
groups.
Yeah. So the idea is also this age group doesn't really want to go to facilitated groups, I have found. There's space for it. It's so valuable, but what I want to do is be able to just bring people together, because in that age gap between 21 and 45, sometimes you're the first person within your peer group to even lose someone.
Yeah.
So you find that your friends aren't actually as supportive as you might have thought that they would be. So that's why grief hangs is kind of a thing. You just come, show up, and meet other people.
Right. You've had other events, and you've had things where you're doing something as well.
Yes, yeah, lots of hands-on stuff. We did an ashes workshop making like a memorial piece, which was very cool. We did a grief retreat with a couple other folks in the Hamilton death and grief community. I have another one of those coming up. Now those ones aren't necessarily capped at a certain age group. It's more open to everybody. But I've got more stuff coming up in the spring. So yeah, it's really, it's going to be exciting.
And do you find when people are doing something with their hands, maybe the conversation flows a little bit?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I even found in my own grief, I took up embroidery. I haven't touched it since, but it was really helpful to kind of work through something that had a beginning and an end, and I didn't have to sit and look at someone and talk directly about my grief. It was just maybe I wanted to talk about it a little, maybe I wanted to sit in silence. So being able to bring that together in a space where other people are feeling the same way, it's a really, really amazing thing to see.
Okay, and you've got these cool pins too.
I do, yeah.
Please be kind. I'm grieving.
I do. I'm wearing one.
Wearing one now. Okay, we'll get more information on Our Loss and the grief hang coming up at Pinch on Friday night up on our website, chch.com/morninglive. Thanks so much.
Thank you.